Brajjanaranjana Jamuna Tirtha Vanachari Jamuna Tirtha Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janbalaba Girivaradari Gopi Janabalaba Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajjanaranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajjanaranjana Jamuna Tirtha Vanachari Jamuna Tirtha Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari E Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paragraj Kacharya Ashtatala Satashishi Mad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Anantakoti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Nitai Go Premanandi All glorious is some devotees, all glorious is some devotees, all glorious is some devotees, all glorious to Sri Guru, Sri Gauranga. Narayanam namaskritya naram chevna narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 7, chapter entitled Lord Shiva Saves the Universe. Text number 24. Tvam Brahma Paramam Guyam Sad Asad Bhava Bhavanam Nana Shakti Bir Abatas Tvam Atma Jagadishvara Tvam Brahma Paramam Guyam Sada Sadbhava Bhavanam Nana Shakti Bia Abatas Twamatma Jagad Ishvara Tvam Brahma Paramam Guyam Sadasad Bhava Bhavanam Nana Shakti Bia Abatas Twamatma Jagad Ishvara Tvam Brahma Paramam Guyam Sadasad Bhava Bhavanam Nana Shakti Bia Abatas Twamatma Jagadishwaraha Tvam, Your Lordship, Brahma, Impersonal Brahman, Paramam, Supreme, Guyam, Confidential, Sat Asat Bhava Bhavanam, the cause of varieties of creation, its cause and effect, Nana Shakti Bi, with varieties of potencies, Abhata, manifest, Tvam, you are, Atma, the Supersoul, Jagat Ishwaraha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. You are the cause of all causes, the self-effulgent, inconceivable, impersonal Brahman, which is originally Para-Brahman. You manifest various potencies in this cosmic manifestation. Translation responsively. You are the cause of all causes, the self-effulgent, inconceivable, impersonal Brahman, which is originally Para-Brahman. You manifest various potencies in this cosmic manifestation. Purport. This prayer is offered to the impersonal Brahman, which consists of the effulgent rays of Parabrahman. Parabrahman is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. When Lord Shiva is worshipped as Parabrahman, the worship is meant for Lord Vishnu. Omagyan Timirandasya Ginanjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubi Evacha Petitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everything in Kali Yuga is always late. This is Kali Yuga. If it's in time, it means it's Satya Yuga, but if it's late, it's Kali Yuga. Srila Prabhupada said, health first, then Krishna consciousness. So you have to be hydrated. 78% of your body is water. So you have to be hydrated all the time, otherwise you will get sick. If you want to live long life, you have to be hydrated. One of the secrets to long life. But it's good when things come on time. Kali Yuga, everything is always late. Not good. Prabhupada said that punctuality and cleanliness, these two things you need if you're doing deity worship. If you're not punctual and if you're not clean, you can't worship the deity. So you have to be clean and punctual. Okay? Now we can start the class. Srila Prabhupada ki? Okay. So, this particular verse is in glorification of Lord Shiva. Now, there's a reason why we study Srimad Bhagavatam every morning. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam means daily, always. And it's also symbolic why the Bhagavatam was spoken in 7 days, not 6 days and not 8 days. 7 days means it's meant to be heard every day of the week. We're meant to hear the Bhagavatam each day. Right? Every day you must be hearing. If you can't come to the class every day, then you have to make sure that you are hearing every day. And we can hear every day now. You know, we're very fortunate. Every day we can listen to Bhagavatam. Like I live at Hare Krishna Valley, so there's only 5 devotees living there, you know. And we don't have daily Bhagavatam class, but every day I listen. At the moment I've been listening to Devi Shakti Mataji, speaking about Prabhupada. She's doing Prabhupada memories, but it's a different level of Prabhupada memory. Like so intricate and deep, like the deepest I've ever heard actually. The most well-researched discussions about Prabhupada's Leela that I've ever heard. So I'm listening to that in the morning. So, you know, you can brush your teeth in the morning, listening. Even while I'm taking bath in the shower, I'm listening. And by the time you come to chant your japa, you've already listened for like, you know, half an hour, 45 minutes of, you know, of discussion. And then while you're doing your puja or deity worship, you can listen, and you're taking breakfast, you can listen. Driving your car, you can listen. We can all the time. So it's called Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. If you can't hear, if you can't sit in the class every day, but you can listen every day. Especially now in Kali Yuga, we have so much facility. Just on your phone, you can have millions and thousands of lectures, right? ISKCON Desire Tree. So there's an ISKCON Desire Tree, and then on the ISKCON Desire Tree, there's an apple growing. So there's an Apple iPhone. So you pluck. Oh, now, what is in there? Oh, the whole spiritual world is in there. You can listen to anything, all over the world. You can listen to lectures. So, Nityam Bhagavata Seva means you have to hear every day Bhagavat philosophy. Why? Because we have to understand the Siddhanta, or the philosophy properly. Because Bhakti, pure Bhakti, is obscured. Uttama Bhakti, or Kevala Bhakti, or Shuddha Bhakti, pure Bhakti, Amala Bhakti, it becomes obscured by Jnana and Karma. Right? You see, like in the Bhagavad Gita, like the Bhakti portion is in the middle. Right? Karma and Jnana are on either side, like protecting. But the actual Bhakti is in the center. It means that the whole Bhagavad Gita is full of Bhakti, but the essential part of the Gita is in the middle, in the Bhakti portion, chapters 7 to 8. Chapter 9 is considered the most important of the chapter, the most confidential knowledge. Just like in this verse, it says Paramam Guyam. Paramaguya. Guyam means confidential. Guyam means secretive. Like we have the word gopi. Gopi means the ones who look after the cows, but it also refers to secretive. The gopis are secretive, and the cowherd boys, the gopas, they're secretive. Because all of Krishna's pastimes are secretive. Right? There's a confidential part of the pastime. Right? It's not always public, the relationship that they have. So, to understand properly the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Siddhanta, the actual conclusions of the Bhagavatam, you have to study it very carefully. And you have to study it especially in disciplic succession. Evam parampara praptam imam rajashio vidu. Right? This knowledge comes down through parampara. If you're not connected to bona fide parampara, you will not understand Bhagavatam properly. And that's the problem. Because bhakti, pure bhakti, becomes obscured by karma and jnana, as Rupa Goswami teaches us. Anyabhilashita shunyam. Right? Jnana karma yanadvritam. Right? Anukva krishnanu shilanam bhakti uttama bhakti must be unobscured by karma and jnana. So jnana means philosophical speculation. Means you don't actually know, you just speculate. This is a disease in the modern world, right? In India you see it a lot, but you see it all over the world. Like in India you go up to someone on the street, you say, how do I get to this place? They say, oh, you just go down there, and then you go like that, and like that, like that. And then you go down there and you start walking, and then you're like, this is not where I'm going. I'm not trying to find. In other words, people don't know, but instead of saying, I don't know, people say, oh yeah, it's like that, you just go down there like that. Right? They do it all over the world. Right? But this is, when people are like this, it is speculation. So instead of saying, I don't know the absolute truth, the Param Brahman, right? People will just speculate. And they'll obscure the actual meaning with some speculative philosophy. And that's why, because it's very prevalent all over the world, and especially in India you see it, jnana, or this speculation, is covering bhakti. Right? Prabhupada actually said, he went to, several times he went to different gatherings where the sadhus would speak about Bhagavad Gita or something like that. And Prabhupada actually said it's this Mayavad philosophy, it is everywhere, it is all pervasive, and it is depressing actually. It's so hard to spread the bhakti cult, the bhakti movement, because so many people are obscured. They think they know the absolute truth, but it's just a speculation. And we have to cut through all of that, and we have to go through all of that in order to present the correct Siddhanta. So you need to understand Bhagavatam through disciplic succession, through bona fide representatives, people who understand the actual philosophy. Right? And then we study like that, and then that removes the jnana, or the impersonal, the speculative philosophy. So we understand the param satyam dhimmihi, the absolute truth. Otherwise, people are confused. They don't understand. That's why we have to study Bhagavatam. Because in this chapter, Lord Shiva has been glorified, which is wonderful. Vaishnavanam yata shambhu, it says in the 12th canto, he is the greatest of the devotees in the material world. Right? Who is greater than Lord Shiva? Right? He is a great devotee. You see in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, right? If you go through Gopakumar as he's traveling, or first Narada as he's traveling, when Narada travels, he's looking for the best devotee. Right? He gets to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma says, no, I'm not the best, you go to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva says, I'm not the best, you go to Hanuman. Right? We go to Prahlad Maharaj, you go to Hanuman. We go to the Pandavas, we go to the residents of Dwaraka. We go to Uddhava, who was the greatest of them. But he says, no, I thought I was the one who loved Krishna the most, but then I met the Brijbasis. Now you go to them. And then of the Brijbasis, who stands supreme? When is her birthday? September 11. Next Wednesday. Only 8 more days. She is the best of all the devotees. That's the purport of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. The whole Bhagavatam, the purport or the conclusion is Srimati Radharani is the best devotee. Right? If you want to meet Krishna, hands up if you want to meet Krishna. Then you have to have pure devotion. You have to develop bhava, prema, bhakti, pure devotion. Then you will meet Krishna. You will not meet Krishna if you're just still on the level of nishta or ruchi or any of these levels. You have to rise to the level of bhava, to prema bhakti. Then you can meet Krishna. You have to have feelings for Krishna. That's what bhava means, feeling. Especially Indian people, they have a lot of emotions. They cry easily. Is it true or not true? It's true? Okay. My good friend, Parthasarithipur, he says it's true. Okay, so it's true. Like, a lot of people have a lot of emotion. Indian people, they cry very easily. Sometimes someone's crying, someone else walks in, sees they're crying, they start crying. Not sure why they're crying, but everyone joins in. It's like, that's called bhav. But Prabhupada says you have to direct the bhav towards Krishna. That's okay. It's good to have feeling, good to be soft-hearted. Bhakti means you have to be soft-hearted. Rupa Goswami says this. But it has to be directed towards Krishna. Right? Develop the emotion for Krishna. That's bhava. That's prema. That's the goal. Right? So here we're learning in Bhagavatam that is pure bhakti, pure devotional service. That's what the Bhagavatam is teaching us. But it must be centered towards Krishna. Right? So when we study a chapter like this and Lord Shiva is being glorified, we have to understand the context. Right? It doesn't mean Shiva is supreme. Right? So Shiva is Mahadeva. He is the greatest of the Devatas, but he is not supreme. This is established in Canto 10. Right? He's not the supreme being. You see Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna, they have a battle. Right? And Krishna defeats Shiva. Why? Because he's showing him. Right? There's different pastimes all through Bhagavatam. And you see in the 6th canto, Lord Shiva is sitting in meditation, and he's meditating on Sankarsana. Right? He meditates on someone above him, Vishnu, Narayana. And who is the source? So we go back and we understand the proper Siddhanta. We understand Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam, right? Which is the Paribhasa Sutra of the Bhagavatam. Right? It's the governing verse. So we understand this section in context to that section. Okay, Lord Shiva is being glorified, but not as the ultimate supreme being. Because otherwise people, they become confused, they don't understand. And that means jnana is covering bhakti. When you don't understand who is supreme properly, you don't understand the proper siddhanta. Right? Who is the supreme being? People speculate. Just like I was telling, I think, in a class not long ago that they were having Ratha Yatra in Jagannath Puri. And Devamrita Swami was he went for Ratha Yatra. But then Maharaj, it's hot. The Ratha Yatra is very long. Goes for all day, so. And it was very hot, and Maharaj was recovering from, I think he had his car accident. So he went to his room. They had a hotel on the Grand Road, the main road. So he went there. And then in the room they had the television on. They're covering the Ratha Yatra. You could watch it on television. So you could see it, television coverage. But the commentator was saying, oh, now here comes Jagannath. And he is representing Vishnu. And then now comes Baladev. And he is representing Mahesh, Shiva. And here comes Subhadra, and she is representing Durga Ma, Shakti. They don't know what they're talking about. All right? Don't comment. If you don't know, that's what we said. If you don't know, don't say anything. In Kali Yuga, everyone likes to say, I know, I know. I know, I know. One time, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was with Prabhupada, and he said, I had a habit. Tamal Krishna Maharaj was telling a story. He said, I had a habit. Whenever Prabhupada would say something, he would say to Prabhupada, he'd say, I know, I know. I know, I know. Or that, I know. Or that. And one day Prabhupada said, I know, you know everything. You know everything. Oh, I know, you know everything. Don't say I know unless you actually know. If you don't know, don't say I know. Either you know or you don't know. Do you know it or not? So if you don't know who Lord Balaram is, don't speculate. Don't say he's a representation of Shiva. That's not correct. It's actually the other way around if you want to get very technical about the whole process of creation and the hierarchy of supremacy. Then you have to understand. So we have to understand these things properly. So now this chapter is called Lord Shiva. He saves the universe. So it's glorifying Lord Shiva. Vaishnavanam yata shambhu. The devotee, as Prabhupada explains, he is paradukkha-dukhi, which means he doesn't like to see others suffering. Devotee doesn't like to see other people suffering. That's why we preach Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said, preaching is the family business. That's the business of the family. What's your business? Preaching. Prabhupada is our founder, and we are his followers. Just like sometimes in India, and even in the West, you have a shop, a business, it says Mr. Patel and Sons. Because it's the family business. Very often it happens. You take up the family business. And then in ISKCON you become a brahmachari and you wreck everything. You're meant to take up the family business, but no, you shaved your head, you put on saffron, you didn't send any pictures of yourself to your parents for 2 years. Because you're wearing saffron and you've got the tilak and you're doing the Hare Krishna. But then when the parents find out, sometimes they're very upset. Oh, you're meant to be in the family business. What happened? And now what will happen to the business? Why are you doing this to your parents? Why are you doing it? So in ISKCON, the family business is preaching. Because Prabhupada opened the business. Or actually, if you go back further, actually Lord Nityananda opened the business. Gauranga, Nitai Gaur, they opened the business. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur discusses the Namhata program. The marketplace, Namhata, means the marketplace of the holy name. That is the family business. It is the marketplace of the holy name. And he says, Lord Nityananda is in control of the marketplace. When you go to the market, what do you buy? Sabji, phal. You get different things at the market. But in this marketplace, what is for sale? Nama. The holy name of Krishna. That is for sale. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, what is the price? If you want to buy the holy name, then what is the price? It is Shraddha, faith. How much faith do you have? How much faith you have, then you can buy more of the holy name. So how much do you have? What level are you on? Is your Shraddha just beginning? That is the beginning of spiritual life, Shraddha. Then what is next? After Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. How much faith do you have? Oh, I have enough faith, I want to associate with the sadhus regularly. Then, more faith you have? Bhajana Kriya. Bhajan means the sadhus say to you, okay, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, you want to do some service? Bhajana. Kriya means force. Kriya. Like that. Bhajan. Come on, do some service. Prabhu, come here, do some service. Right? That is called Bhajana Kriya. Right? You have more faith. Okay, yeah, I'll do some service. And then what happens after that? What was next? After Bhajana Kriya, you have Anata Nivritti. So your faith increases, so you will start letting go of the anatas. Because anatta means something invaluable. Anarta means not valuable. But we are attached to these anatas, isn't it? We're attached to things in this world. They're not actually valuable, but we are attached to them. And when you get more faith, you say, okay, I can let go of this now. I can give up this anatta, I can give up this material attachment. That means your faith is increasing. Oh no, I can give that up now, I can let go of it. And then that will lead you to more faith, which will take you to Nishta. Nishta means fixed, steady. Balaram Prabhu, who was the temple president before Aniruddha Prabhu, one time he asked Prabhupada here, he said, what is the qualification for someone taking Brahman initiation? And Prabhupada said he has to be steady. Then we give Brahman initiation. If you're not steady, because you have to turn up for the deity worship. If you go on the roster, then you have to be there. You can't take Brahman initiation and then go on the roster and then not turn up. Sometimes devotees do it. Oh, Prabhuji, I can't make it. My little toe is sore. That means, okay, sometimes your little toe gets sore, that's okay, but not all the time. You have to be steady, you have to be fixed. Right? There are pujaris, even in ISKCON we have, Jananidas Prabhu, Pankajangri Prabhu, 50 years of service. Imagine serving for 50 years. Right? Same service, 50 years. Right? That is bhakti. Right? Sometimes you meet when you go to the Holy Dham, you go to the different temples, you meet pujaris who've been doing that service 50 years, 60 years, even 70 years, doing the seva. Right? That means steady, that's nishta. Not that you're there one day, not there the next day. That's not nishta. So when you get to the platform of nishta, you have enough faith that you become steady and fixed in bhakti. It is described at that point, the coin, the nishta coin, which you give to purchase the holy name, that will give you nama, but it will also give you rupa. Nama, rupa, guna, lila. So when you get to nishta, you actually purchase the form of Krishna as well. When you're chanting, the form of Krishna will begin to come into your mind while you're chanting. Right? Which is what should happen. Right? As you advance in your chanting, Krishna's form should come into the mind. Hare Krishna. Just like if I say your name, or if I say someone's name, right? Like I close my eyes, I say Prabhupada. Then immediately in my mind, Prabhupada's form is there. Makes sense? Right? Nama, rupa, right? Form. Right? When you say the name of someone, the form comes in the mind. So when you get to nishta, you say Hare Krishna, Radha Krishna, right? The form comes into the mind. Make sense? Right? That means you're advancing in Krishna consciousness. Right? And then more faith means you get ruchi, asakti, bhava, prema. Prema means complete faith, 100%. Sandrananda Visheshatma means just complete, impenetrable, nothing else but Krishna. So that means that's what we're aiming for, right? And then guna will come, the qualities will come while you're chanting, Krishna's qualities. Then Leela will manifest, right? We are chanting. Prabhupada says this, while you're chanting, the Leela will come, right? You meditate on the Leela. Ashtakaliya Leela means during the day, 24 hours, because devotees who are advanced, Kirtaniyaha Sadahari, they're always chanting, right? They chant in every period of the day, the 8 periods. So while they're chanting in the 8 periods, they're meditating on the Leela which takes place in that period. That's Ashtakali, that's advanced chanting. Like it says, Haridas Thakur was chanting how many rounds? How many? 192. Right, 3 lakhs. 192. So 64 rounds. 128, 192 means practically all day chanting. So people who are chanting like that, they're meditating on the pastimes all through the Ashtakali Leela, all the day. That's why they do it. So whichever part of the day it is, that's where they're meditating. So the Leela comes into the consciousness, right? And then Dham. Now the Dham manifests, Vrindavan. And actually says that, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that in Madhurya Kalambini. When you attain prema, Krishna brings you into Vrindavan. Right? You suddenly, Vrindavan, I'm in Vrindavan. And then there's Krishna. And what happens when you see Krishna? What happens? You faint. Imagine you actually see him again. You see him, and and then what does he do? In Brihad Bhagavatam, it mentions that, when Gopal Kumar, he faints. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that he revives you. Right? He picks you up. Right? And he revives you. He touches you. Right? And then you wake up again and you see, he's there. Right? And then he looks and he says, look, there's Radharani, there's Jamuna, there's Govardhan. Go. You're back. Don't leave again. Don't go again. Stay. Like Prabhupada said to Bhavananda Prabhu, he said, stay with me forever. Don't go. We always leave. That's our problem. We always leave. Every day we chant, and we fix our mind on Krishna, but during the day our mind goes away again. You have to bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. That's why it says, Kirtaniyaha Sadahari. We're meant to chant all day long. But you have to do seva. So you're at Crossways, but you can chant while you're serving, or you're at the veggie market. Just like on the pastime of the Gundicha Marjana, right? What were all the devotees saying to each other? If they wanted a pot of water, they would give it to each other. They would say, Krishna. And if you wanted the pot, you'd say, Krishna. And you give a pot, you'd say, hey, Krishna. And Krishna, 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 Krishna. Everyone was just chanting. That's our philosophy. That's our practice. That's our Sankirtan movement. So you go to the market. You go up to the man selling the bananas. You say, Krishna, Krishna. And he gives you a banana. You say, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And he gives you more bananas. You say, Krishna, Krishna. And you say to the man selling the potatoes, hey, Krishna, 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 Krishna. Like that. That's our Sankirtan movement. And maybe Channel 7 will come down and film you saying Krishna, Krishna, Krishna at the market, and you'll become famous in Melbourne. But this is our philosophy. Right? So we're meant to always be chanting the holy name of Krishna. So this is Shraddha. Right? Shraddha means we have to develop faith. Now the problem is, so many people, they don't understand the Siddhanta properly. Right? You can only develop faith when you have the correct understanding. That's why philosophy is so important. Right? That's why in the Hare Krishna movement, Prabhupada says we have to study the Bhagavatam. You have to hear the philosophy every day. So you get the correct understanding of the philosophy. Because if you don't have the correct sambandha, the relationship will not form properly. What does sambandha mean? Relationship, yeah. And, for many years, since 2003, I've been going to these holy name retreats with His Holiness Satchidananda Swami and His Grace Burujan Prabhu, and the other devotees. So many, many years I've been doing these retreats with them. Why? Because it deepens my Krishna consciousness, because I'm associating with advanced devotees. I want to become an advanced devotee. I don't want to be a neophyte devotee. I want to become an advanced devotee. How do you become an advanced devotee? You have to associate. Sangat sanjayate kama. Krishna says in Gita, whoever you associate with, that desire you will develop. Right? So I associate with those devotees because my desire is to become like them. I want to become advanced in Krishna consciousness. And Satchidananda Swami, he said on one retreat, he said, you have to develop sambandha with the holy name. Sambandha means relationship with Krishna. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes this. It is called Nam Ashraya. Ashraya means you take shelter of the holy name. You have to develop this deep relationship with Krishna in the holy name. Because Prabhupada taught us the holy name of Krishna is non-different. Abhinitwan nama namano. Right? The holy name is non-different from Krishna. That's what is established within Shastra. Prabhupada taught us. And the day I got initiated here in the temple, my Guru Maharaj said to me that morning, he said in the initiation ceremony, he said, always remember, when you're chanting, Radha and Krishna are dancing on your tongue. Right? That's what Prabhupada said. When you chant, Radha, Krishna are dancing on your tongue. The rasa dance is taking place right there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Right? That is, rasa dance is taking place right there. Right? Are we aware of that? Maybe not. What are we meditating on? Cauliflower pakoras. Chanting your japa, meditating on. Gobi pakora. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah, who knows what you're meditating on? Imagine if we put a big screen up there while everyone's chanting japa and connected your brain to the screen and everyone could see what you're meditating on. It might be hilarious. Meditate on so many things while you're chanting the holy name of Krishna. Sometimes I see where my mind goes. I'm chanting and then I think, and then I realize where I am in my consciousness. And then I think, how do they get there? Like, how do they even get there? Right? Sometimes you're chanting and your mind just goes into the material universe and then you have to pull it back. Which is what Krishna says in chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna says, how do I control the mind? Right? Very difficult to control the mind, dhyana. Right? How do I fix the mind? And then what does Krishna say? Abhyas and vairagya. Abhyas means practice, right? Does your mind go away sometimes while you're chanting? Yes. So bring it back. And over the years, it will go away less. It will go away less. And if it's not going away less, that means you've got a problem. It means you're not following the process properly. Right? So you have to learn how to control the name. So our whole practice is to bring us to this point, right, where our consciousness is fixed on Krishna. And that means you have to have proper philosophical understanding. Right, and then, Veda Vyas Maharaj was saying on his Vyasa Puja a few weeks ago, and then devotees were saying on the Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja. What's one of the glories of the Melbourne temple? There are many glories. It's a very good temple where I got a lot of realization on Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja. Because I always say, this is one of the best temples in the world, but then I got deeper realizations. Right? Why? Because it's such a complete package. Right? So many features are there, which are not there in other temples actually. Like our education system, and that's what Veda Vyas Maharaj was glorifying on his Vyasa Puja. And on the Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja, devotees were glorifying as well. Our education system is in the top 1% in ISKCON. Right? Top 1%. There's only about 6 temples in the whole ISKCON, 800 plus temples, that have the education system as developed as us. Right? It's a very developed temple, very developed educational system. Why is that there? Because then devotees will have correct sambandha. Right? They will have proper philosophical understanding. They will not be obscured by jnana. But they will understand bhakti properly, which is Lord Chaitanya's mission. That's why Lord Chaitanya came. Right? That's why if you study Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Chaitanya, he converted Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Yeah? 7 days Sarvabhauma spoke to him. And at the end, he said, "You don't have any questions? You just sat for 7 days. You didn't say anything?" And he said, "Because, I heard what you said, but I don't understand your explanation. You're saying everything is one, everything is supreme. I don't understand. I don't understand it." And then Sarvabhauma said, "Well, maybe you can explain it." And Lord Chaitanya said, "Okay." And then he explained it. And Sarvabhauma was like, "Who is this boy?" I always think like Amarendra Prabhu. He's young. But when he speaks, it's like, "Who's this kid?" Now he's older. Now he's like 30 something. But when he's like 22 or something, he'd speak and he'd be like, "Who's this kid?" He just speaks like such a learned personality. Lord Chaitanya was 24, like a young guy. How old are you guys? You're 20 something? You're 24? Yeah, so imagine like, 24-year-old kid, speaking like Vedanta, like giving like an entire purport, right, on Bhagavatam, taking one verse, giving 64, the Atmaram verse, giving 64 different ways to understand the breakdown of the verse. And even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was extremely learned. You think, wow, who is this kid? Right? And then he realized, oh, wait a minute. Gopinath Acharya said to me that he's not like us. And then suddenly he realized, oh, he actually is Krishna. Right? He's the one who spoke Bhagavad Gita. He's the one who spoke Uddhava Gita. So this is why we need to have this proper understanding. Right? As Prabhupada says in the purport, people, they get an impersonal understanding of the absolute truth, which is not correct. And they get mixed up with tattva, they get mixed up with which god or the gods, which one is supreme. People get confused about all these things. So we have to study. That's why in ISKCON, we have to become the leaders of the whole world, actually. Because we have to study the philosophy so carefully, we can explain to anyone what the correct understanding is. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is supreme. Ete chamsa kalapumsa. Okay, there's many other expansions and forms, but Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Right? It's important to understand this. When Prabhupada, when his disciples first went to South India to preach, Lord Ramachandra is more popular than Krishna. So then the devotee said, Prabhupada, should we preach that Ram is supreme? Because that's what they see. Prabhupada said, no, you say Krishna is supreme. Right? Even in South India. And then you see when Lord Chaitanya went down there, like we're studying at the moment, he's just, we're in chapter 9 in Madhya Lila. He just got to Sri Rangam. Right? And he's just meeting the devotees there, Vyankata Bhatta and everyone. And then, what does Lord Chaitanya say? No? Why is your Narayan, Supreme Personality of Godhead, his wife, Lakshmi Devi, why is Lakshmi Devi, the wife of your Lord Narayan, why is she attracted to my Krishna? Explain this to me. Explain this to me. He was playing with them. He said, explain this to me. Why? So he would always do this all the time. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is supreme. That is the ultimate understanding of the final book given to us by Srila Vyasadeva. What is the final book given to us by Vyasadeva? Is Bhagavatam. Rewritten. There's Bhagavatam. This is the final book. The final book is the essence of everything. Just like what was the last book that Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave us? What's the last book he gave us? Bhajan Rahasya. Have you studied it? Yeah. I'll speak to you later about it. That's you have to study it actually. Next week. Because when you understand that one, that's like the essence of the essence. It's like when the person gives the final teaching. Like when Krishna gets to end of Gita. Mamana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Right? Rahasya. I'll just give you now the essence. And then Arjuna says, can you distill even that? And he says, okay. And then he gives Charan Shloki. Savadaman parijaja mam ekam sharanam. Just surrender to me, that's it. Right? You don't have to worry about the whole, everything else, just surrender. So when you get the final instruction, that is the essence of everything. So Bhagavatam is final instruction, Krishna is supreme. Okay, any questions or comments in this material universe? Yeah. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you mentioned how Lord Shiva is the foremost of the Vaishnavas, and if we read in Chaitanya Bhagavat that to not give him the position and respect is an offense. So how do we understand the behavior of an acharya like Ramanujacharya, who started fasting because he became upset thinking that Jagannath had moved him from a Puri temple to a Shiva temple, but became happy realizing that later it was a Kurmadev temple?
So what's the question?
How do we understand the behavior of Ramanujacharya when we understand Lord Shiva is the foremost of the Vaishnavas and we should respect him?
I don't understand what's the actual question.
We see Ramanujacharya,
yeah.
he became upset when Jagannath...
Yeah, and he got moved.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
So how do we understand his behavior when we understand that Lord Shiva is the top foremost Vaishnava, and in Chaitanya Bhagavat we read that to not give him the respect and position of a devotee is an offense?
I don't understand. What's the question though? I understand what you're saying, but I just don't understand what the question is. What's the question?
We understand Lord Shiva, he's a great devotee, and
Ramanuj. How's that relate to Ramanuj?
Because he became upset thinking that he was moved from Jagannath temple to a Shiva temple.
When he went down he was sent to Kurmakshetra.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Lord Jagannath removed him because he went to Puri, and the worship in Puri is very, there's a certain amount of like spontaneity, and they have very deep love for Jagannath there, but sometimes they may not follow the rules that may be followed in other places as strictly, because Jagannath is very merciful and they have a very like spontaneous mood and attraction to him. So Ramanuja came and he made some comments. He said, this is not being done properly, that's not being done properly. So when he woke up in the morning, he wasn't there in Puri. Jagannath said, go to a different place. So does that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.